Hello and welcome back to the ESA Cup. We are fully underway here in the play week 4. We have 2 matches for you tonight. We have Entropy versus GHR Esports and E-Wave versus Eagle Empire. And I'm going to be your host for tonight, Chamberlain. I'm going to be joined by the wonderful Bose Max for our first duo together. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very well. Good evening, Chamberlain. Happy to hear that you're feeling much better today.
Yes.
After your cast yesterday, but I'm super happy that we can finally do our first duo cast here on this beautiful stream for today. Because two wonderful matches, I would say, like Entropy, GHR. Yeah. I mean, there could be a very interesting one, but especially E-Wave and Eagle Empire. For example, like Eagle Empire team that has been doing so well in the group, while E-Wave is just like shortly behind them. So that could be a very interesting game as well, which kind of determine like how the group will play out as well. I think for all 4 of these matches anyway. So that is a pretty interesting schedule for today.
Yeah, I mean, just as you mentioned, the group there, Eagle Empire on 9 points, Entropy done at 4, you've got E-Wave on 6, and then you've got E-Wave as well. I'm missing one out. It's GHR's the other one. The thing catches me out as well every single time is GHR have a longer name because their team avoid by GHR Esports.
It is.
So every single time. So if anyone's in the Twitch chat and maybe has the same idea who's who, that's their one team. It's Team Avoid by GHR Esports, if you're not.
Yeah.
So that's the only one that might not be as competitive, Entropy versus GHR, because GHR are currently on 0 points. So we're expecting Entropy to take that one relatively easy. It's E-Wave versus Eagle Empire, though. That's the big one because that's going to decide placements. That's first versus third. So that's the bigger one, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so very interesting matches. Like I said, we're currently like in week 4, so pretty much past the halfway mark. So after this week, the group will take more and more shape, and I think we can get a clearer view on what we will can expect of this season, of which teams to proceed eventually towards the playoffs. Of course, it can be very, very close towards the very end of those group stage. It's going all the way up to week 7. But either way, after today, I think most groups will start to take the first bit of shape. But either way, let's just check which map we're actually going to be playing today, of course, because like the match is almost ready to be played. Let's just jump straight into map, and I will give the word to Chamberlain. We can just quickly discuss which map we're actually going to be playing. So let's just jump straight in.
Yeah, we'll certainly give you a look at what destination we're heading to. I'm expecting probably Chalet or something like that, maybe even an Oregon or something to come through. It's not been too diverse in terms of the maps that we've seen this season. I mean, everyone's pretty much played the same maps, and it is because it is a best of 1 scenario, so pretty much everybody does stick to playing on the same maps because you don't want to show too much. You don't want to show all these setups. There's some maps you will never see really in the group stages and that, and there's some that you'll see very infrequently, like a theme. It's only been played once all season so far. So first couple of maps there are going away. Villa, Cafe, not surprised to see them go. Theme, like I said, again, not surprised to see that one go either. It comes down to a couple other ones as well. Border, gone. Not surprised so far. It's probably likely to come down to Oregon or Chile. Bank's been quite I've casted it a couple of times, but it's not as frequent as I thought it was. It's only been played 3 times this season. Oregon there, gone as well. Common ban. So far, and that's 4 times it's been banned away. Sky gets quite deep into the bans, I feel like, but it never really appears that much. It's been 3 times this season, and then we're getting on to Clubhouse, which again is one of the higher picked ones. So that's 9 times. This will be the 10th we've been at it. So not surprised to see that. It did come down to that between and Chalet. Chalet is the most played at 11 times combined with Villa. So yeah, it's usually the same couple of maps. We'll see Club, Chalet, and Villa has been the main 3, so I'm not surprised to see them. It's where we're going to.
Yeah, I'm just quickly waiting for the staff of the ESA board to confirm that all the match is ready to be played. We're just waiting for those players to be in the hand cam. We're just very sure that the match can be played in a fair way, which of course is a very important thing for the ESA. And basically all players are in lobby. So just waiting for a confirmation on that matter. And then we can technically start with this match. But like you said, Clubhouse, a match that I personally haven't casted yet this season. So I'm very excited to see this match. Did you already bring up the stats for Clubhouse so far during the season?
Yeah, so we've been on it. We've been to Clubhouse 9 times, and it's quite surprising you've not been on it. I've been on it. I feel like I've been on it 6 or 7 times now.
Oh damn.
But yeah, it's a common one. It's 3rd compared to Villa and Chalet, which are the top 2 for the picks this season. They're on 11. Each, so I wasn't surprised to see Chalet being the decider there. It was very much either one of those. I was surprised to see Villa go first. I was surprised at that, but that may just be one of those ones where people don't like particular team at Bandit don't actually like playing it, but it really just depends. But it's Clubhouse we're going to. That's the destination we're going to. Motorcycle Club. We're getting ready to go there just now. We're getting up and running, and we'll see what these teams have in store for us in the bands in just a second.
Yeah, let's see the beautiful introduction to the beautiful German map Clubhouse. I believe it's in Cologne somewhere in Germany. But anyway, it's a very interesting map, one of the older maps of the game. Did get reworked, of course, but still, it's a beautiful map, which is very, very interesting to play on. And yeah, let's just see which operators are going to be banned. In this case, it's Team Entropy, Team Blue starting as the defending team, so they can ban an attacker first. So let's just see which attacker this will be.
Yep, Maverick is a surprising one, actually. I think that actually may be one of the first bans for Maverick. Yeah, he's only been banned twice so far, so that's the third time that the bans came out from Mav, so not surprised.
I mean, yeah, like having Maverick ban, it would certainly allow some bandit tricking. For example, like on the CCTV walls, one of those places where you do see that happen. So that will be a very interesting thing to see. So yeah, let's just see how that will go.
No, I'm not surprised. She's the second most banned operator. She will actually be equal with Jacko being the same. They're both that be the 17th time that Nock's been banned alongside and Jacko's the other one. So that's really not a surprise to see Nock go like.
Yeah. So basically, which other operators can we expect statistically?
Well, Solus. Just as the word just about left my mouth in time there. Solus, yeah, 50% ban rate. She's been banned in 23 games. This is the 24th. She's been banned so much throughout this. Crazy. No one wants to play against her at all.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy amount. Like I think just like you and Arya apparently had like this discussion about it on stream, I believe. I still do kind of think it's like a comfort ban in some ways. Like people do not really know how to play against it yet. Technically, also not really how to play with it, and maybe they just care that the enemy team is just better at playing Solus than themselves, and not just knowing how to properly counter it. So, like I said, I do kind of feel like it is somewhat of a comfort ban. Certainly, there's probably some teams who are very great on playing Solus. We have perfect strategies already with it. We have some great Solus action, like even denying the defuse from below or something. Yeah. So there's definitely some good options for Solus to be played on. But I think just generally, she still needs to find her potential. Like I think she will find her potential fairly quickly, like much faster than like a Warden or a Sense does. But still, it does feel a bit like a comfort ban.
Yeah, and it falls into a little bit of the theme that it's because there isn't the quarantine anymore, you don't have the operators cut out of the picture for the first couple of weeks of the season. And generally they lag a season behind in old times, they don't have it anymore, so generally people just tend to ban the newest operators. We've seen a kind of an example of that last season in ESA. In Season 4, Thunderbird was banned pretty much all the time throughout of it, and I can't remember when the dates were for ESA, but I think that pretty much would land round about when Thunderbird was released. So yeah, she was banned 30 times last season.
Yeah, I think like the LAN finals were like somewhere in August, with then the season probably starting like in May or so. So that could be right what you're saying. Also still Thatcher was being banned quite a lot. Luckily his ban rate has dropped like dramatically, which is mostly to do with, of course, the secondary EMP impact nade. But yeah, like luckily we're seeing some change in terms of bans, like no longer too many like just default bans. There's a bit more creativity, but still like the Solus ban is of course one of those a little bit more disappointing ones, which we're hoping to see less and less during the remaining of the season. But yeah, meanwhile the run has been going on, and what's happening here?
It looks as though it's a pretty quick attempt to get into the site here, just straight down the dirt tunnel all the way in towards Arsenal room. You can see the Thunderbird taking the pressure, 5 versus 4, so Entropy able to get the first pick there. One bites back instantly though from JHR, and it's a 4 versus 3 situation. The quick rush came through, and it looks like it's just collapsed as quick as it happened. Hypno's inside of Arsenal rooms on their own, joined by the Buck at the other end now though. Doesn't quite land the shots through the wall, and that'll be the rush snuffed out in the first 30 seconds of the round.
Yeah, that's a very explosive start to the rounds. I think just really GHR Voids was just looking for the first opportunity here to just try to throw Entropy off guard. Like statistically, or at least in terms of standings, Entropy is a little bit of the better team. Of course, they haven't played against each other this season yet. I'm not even sure whether they played against each other at all in history. Actually, something I can bring up fairly quickly here. But either way, of course, it would be a great way to just throw them off guard, to find the first rounds pretty easily. But actually, I got the statistics right here. They're actually currently playing against each other in Champions Series, which is of course a different competition. But they're both of the times Entropy Gaming has won. One time with 7-2 score and one time with a 7-0.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a nice little statistics analysis there, and in the round, of course, just so rude of them to just do that so quick and ruin our nice introduction there.
Yeah, well, one of the good things though is they have never played Clubhouse before, so this is the first time I get each other on Clubhouse. The other maps they did play before were, I believe it was Chalet and Team Park. So those maps were banned, maybe even for that reason. I'm not sure which team banned those again. Can I see? Chalet was banned by a voice, and no, Team Park was banned by Entropy. Okay, but yeah, either way, yeah, the first round was of course won by Entropy. Maybe not the most, I would say, most reliable round, as it was of course a very risky round from Avoid, but at the same time, a good way to start as a defending team. Just having the first point just makes you feel a little bit more confident.
Yeah, I think you were right with what you were saying there. I think they just tried to catch them out. They just were like, yeah, they are statistically a slightly better team, so we'll try rush. We'll just try send it in there and see if we can catch them off guard. But we got a quick round on the board. Didn't quite work out, but they'll probably slow things down a little bit more. Obviously, going up to CCTV does require quite a bit of coordination to get this opened up. You've got the ace over on this side, just coming up towards the main breach just to get things moving, and it looks as though they're going to go for somewhat of a split push as the hatch drop does come through from Nexus, and they're so quick, GHR, to actually enter into the map. Their drones are coming through, so it looks like they are actually paying a little bit of attention to it. They're not just sending it straight in a hatch and hope for the best. You can see the drones going ahead there. Hassie, though, now will feel the pressure inside the construction. There is a pinch coming out from either side. There's one inside of logistics, there's one inside of the bedroom, and that is able to at least escape for the moment. Hassie back into sight, and we'll see the ace opening up the garage area on the other side at the same time.
Yeah, one of the difficult things that with the way the attacking team is currently set up, they don't really have anything to deal with the bandit charges that are placed on the CCTV wall towards the outside. Therefore, Ace is not being able to open it up as of yet. So they still need to find a way to deal with those. And with Ash and Sledge being located on both on this side, I don't see much chance for Ace to actually breach some of the most important walls. Luckily, of course, they also brought a Termite, which is able to breach here from the construction side, which does give them a really nice new line of sight and entry point towards the bomb side. Bit of damage done on either side, but right now the attackers at least have a new way in and a new line of sight from where they can do damage and further on pressure the defending team.
Yep, Hassie taking quite a bit of damage inside the site there. Still alive, still kicking, still not been dealt with yet. There's a minute left on the round, so there's plenty of time for the attackers to get something cooking here. You see Nexus did take a little bit of damage. Didn't quite spot the person at the top of the red stairs as they peeked across construction there. But it looks as though they've kind of retreated a little bit deeper into the site. They've actually kind of given them quite a bit of cash, so they could actually push in. You can see the one player up to the right of the breach. It is Hassie that's going to be playing there. The drone does find the information though, and Bucks is now going to cook this nade, try and bounce it off the wall and get it around the corner towards Hassie, which is a very difficult nade to try and send. If he gets it right though, he will at least get Hassie off the board, who's just holding right to the side. You can see the nade comes in just now. It doesn't quite connect to its mark though. Decides to send it instead to send another one across over to the top of the red stairs though. Two immediate picks comes out. There's three actually. Nexus is going to find the Antique, and we've seen Splicey as well find another one. It's a double for the side of Entropy on their defense there. They shut down the attack a little bit at least and slow them down, and they'll have to rethink things. Mephisto and Hypnos are going to have to try and pair up together now inside. You've got also Nexus, and they're all three of them getting together from construction, pushing through. They're going to get them through the breach, and it looks as though they're just going to have to go and send it deep for this one. The plant was not even going to be attempted. I think he's just thought about it. He didn't realise he was going to get all the way so far in there. I think he was waiting for Hassie to actually pounce. Hassie hasn't done anything yet, but Hassie now makes a move, swings out. 2 versus 2 though. The plant though has been dropped. The diffuser won't be able to go down just yet though. Nexus so swings up, and it's actually a melee to get the last final pistol. And that is another round for the defenders of Entropy.
Yeah, much nicer attempt from Avoid there on the attack, but I really think that not being able to open up the CCTV wall was such a big problem for them. Like, if you can open up the main wall there, you can see how long the Ace was actually waiting there for someone to deal with those bandit charges, which didn't even happen. But if they would have just been able to open up the wall, they would have gotten such a nice line of sight into the bomb site. Would have denied any defender playing in that area as well, because the defenders basically got a free roaming space right there, from where they can like have a long line of sight towards the cache area, which makes it so difficult for the attacking team to take further control. And I think just the wall not being opened, yeah, it was such a bummer for the attacking team right there, which could certainly, if they would have done it, could have potentially changed the result of the round.
Yep, it could have, and we could just revisit something that happened at the start of the game. Let's say that Mav ban, you know, that Mav ban maybe made a little bit of a difference there, just a tiny bit.
Surely. Yeah, Mav is certainly one of those operators who could have been very useful, but just having one attacker just bring those EMP nades or something, it would have been so useful. Or just having like an explosive charge from below. There was Yana with the nades, there was Sledge with nades, there was the Ash. There was actually plenty of options to deal with those bandit charges, and they just didn't. Luckily for the attacking team, this time there's no bandit or Kaid or mute or whatsoever, so having to deny those breaches, like, that's not a worry for them, so they can just easily open those. And with both, they actually did bring the Thatcher this time, but with both the Ace and the Termite on the board, they shouldn't have too much problem opening up walls, which could certainly increase their success rate for this round.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the mirror along this time, so I think they're actually opting to play with the wall open and be a bit more aggressive with it, so I think that's probably why they don't have any more denial with them, and we'll probably just about to see, yep, there you go. Bucks has just realised that Hot Tub Ball is completely open, the mirror's staring them in the face, so they're going to have a bit of a gauntlet to run through, but no one's playing on it. That information won't be there, so they won't actually know that there's no one playing on it, but they do decide to get a little bit of utility in to try and get this dealt with as quick as possible. Nexus so opens up the scoreboard inside this round, finds Hassie on the roam on the other side of the map, and Hypnos just holding an angle just into construction to support their teammates so that no one can jump out and put any pressure onto anyone on that side. We can see the mirror highlighted just out through inside of logistics. It's going to be playing on the other mirror window. That's usually the mirror set up on this map, the double mirrors, one inside the bathroom, one inside the logistics. That's a pretty common place to see that within Clubhouse. Spicy though is going to find another one, at least one back, and two at the same time. Actually gets a double from Garage. It's a triple as well to come through all the way to potentially get that fourth, but just can't quite connect with the head though. Nexus comes in from behind and shuts it down. There will be no 4K coming on the round for Spicy, and now 3 versus 2 situation in favour of Entropy.
Yeah, indeed, the 3 versus 2 situation was still 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock, which is more than half of the remaining time. Luckily, Nexus is being able to bring things around by making it 2 versus 2 after he gets his third kill by taking out Emily. So it's a 2 versus 2 situation right now, with Ace not having any RPG utility and Ash not having any of her grenade shots in her launcher. So that will be a bit tricky. Luckily, Ash still has some bridging charges, which can be useful. But either way, things can still, like, everything can still happen at this point. Still 1 minute 10 seconds. Everyone remaining has full HP, and I think some of the important walls have been opened up as well, with also one of the mirror windows being dealt with. So I do think there's some options here for the attacking team to potentially win this round, but they just need to be very careful. Like, they have some time. They do still have one drone that they could use on the Ash, which would be useful to actually try to find out where the remaining 2 defenders are playing. Mirror, of course, behind the mirror window in a very safe position with some healing stations very, very close to her, where the Thunderbird is just waiting at the bedroom door to just potentially find any attacker off guard and take him out easy on the close range. But we will have to see what will happen.
Yep, the mirror inside the logistics firmly wedged in there. She's ahead there. I'm actually not 100% how to say their name, to be honest. You're probably going to be better to pronounce that, but Bucks is the one that's on the receiving end, and it's a very quick double end around there. Drop the hatch, one for the window, and that's it. Done. Easy peasy. Entropy take the third round.
Yeah, Entropy is playing in a very convincing way at the moment. Like, even though Avoid is starting to do better and better by each round they play, it's still not enough. They still need to find a way to really avoid those early picks. Just refract a little bit better, and just have like a clear way to proceed. Like, the Ace wasting 3 charges to just take care of 1 mirror window. If he would have just droned, or some of his teammates would have droned, they would have known there was 2 ADSs right there, and it wouldn't have cost them so many harbinging utility, which is, of course, is a waste. It doesn't necessarily mean they lost the round because of that, but it's just those little things that they could really use to become better and better each round. And yeah, the fact that there's already a 3-0 would mean it would be a good moment to have those changes being made right now, because if they wait too long with those, then they will be behind too many rounds, which will be very difficult to come back from.
Yeah, they have been throwing around the picks a little bit, GHR. They haven't quite actually decided on a lineup they want to go for. It's the way Clubhouse plays it's pretty rigid, so usually it's one of those maps that actually fits into the standard siege of the support, flex, entry kind of role. It's not like some other maps, like when you can see in Oregon stuff like that, where you can get away with people playing a bit more aggressive operators, if you will. So they haven't quite decided on a set like amount of operators in. You've seen that they brought the Thatcher on the wrong round, and you have attacker repick, so it's like one of those ones where you mentioned that if they'd gone for those ADSs and the plan for that, it would have been an easy opening in that Mira. And it's like they're almost not gathering the information they need to actually bring the correct operators and the correct pushes. Nexus so takes quite a bit of damage there. I actually think it might have been an accidental bit of damage from Bucks opening up that wall in the dirt area, and it looks as though they're going to go for the same idea of a quick push down dirt. They go on 6s in the hand, ready for Bucks to go, and it looks like they're going to send it straight into Arsenal and get the pressure in early.
I mean, they surely wouldn't expect a second rush, right?
Well, I think that's what would catch them out.
No one would be that crazy to do something like that. Well, yeah, here we go. Again, this is the same. Goku just waiting for them, doing lots of damage. Bucks actually getting killed because of him destroying it himself. And Hachiburi killed her on high pulse, and Bucks taking out his teammate as well. That's very unfortunate. 3 attackers down in a very short amount of time. That's not the way to go. Luckily, Memphis is being able to take out Monster Affendrache, bringing things to a 4 versus 2 situation where still there's double the amount of defenders alive compared to the attacking team. But as the C4 from Hachi comes from downstairs, it's a 4 versus 1 with a quad kill there for Hachi, leaving NMD all alone in this 4 versus 1 situation. Has 1 finger boost remaining, 3 flashbangs and a drone, which still provides some opportunities. But as he finds the Oryx, unfortunately he cannot land the shots, and then it's Anti with the final kill, bringing another round to Entropy, winning probably even close to the first minute, I would say. It was a very fast round.
Yeah, we can throw analysis at this all day.
Yeah.
If we really wanted to, but I think the main takeaway for that is that it was not the brightest of ideas to do that. I think as soon as I seen the fire, I think I would have been, no, nah, that's not for me. I don't think it was the wisest idea to send that in there. Hassie just remained inside Arsenal and just was like, you know what? I'll take on the free kills. If you're just going to run at me, it's completely fine. I'll do that. And the tactical timeout, hopefully it's right, okay, let's level out the heads. Let's just calm down a little bit. We don't need to get so aggressive, and we'll try and rethink things, because they're actually not too far away on the rounds. But if you discard the first round and the 4th round and talk about those 2 middle rounds, if you just think of those weren't actually too bad. The drone work was there. It just was almost like they weren't quite feeding that information correctly. So if they just tighten up a couple parts, they could get a couple of rounds off of them.
Surely, yeah. Something that also Void could really use is a score. Of course, they're like a little bit lower in a group in terms of points. Actually, talking about this match, the prediction came to an end, so we can actually also now have can get an idea what our viewers are expecting of this match. In total, 10 people casted a vote, for which we're thankful. This gives us some pretty nice insights. But in the end, 8 people voted for Entropy, which is absolutely the majority, versus only 2 people voting for a Void, which is a pretty big difference. So in terms of what the viewers are expecting, they surely are expecting Entropy to win this match, which is somewhat understandable, because of course they are the Season 4 finalists and winners. So of course that says something about them. Their roster stay mostly the same. Certainly some of the champions are still there, so that of course can create some expectancy. And also total channel points, 99% going to Entropy, which is even more, but that's not the most important thing. It's all about the votes really. But yeah, the majority going to Team Entropy right there, Team Blue. And in terms of it being a 4-0 right now, I think I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it just at the start with the schedule, when we were going over the schedule and the groups and stuff like that. GCHR, Void are actually at the bottom of the group. They're not yet to get a point. Entropy, they're closer to the top. So, well, they're in 4th just now. So, but, of course, we're getting into the kind of stages where you start to see that top 4 forming up. So this will put them firmly in the top 4 after this game. So it's not a surprise to see this being as one-sided as it is so far. The only thing that's bugging me is that it's just a couple of tiny parts on the rounds that you need to kind of fix, other than those rushes, which we'll just pretend didn't happen. And the other 2 rounds, though, it's just a couple of things. And you pointed out a Thatcher would help with this wall, and that's exactly what they've done. And it looks as though they're going to have at least some success. And they're also going to get a kill off of it. Mephisto, though, brings the head of Amelie before the C4 can be even sent out to its recipient. And that is at least a good start for the attacking side of a Void.
Yeah, I was about to point out, this is why they banned the Maverick, so they can do the bandit tracking. Unfortunately for the bandit tracking didn't go as planned. He wasn't able to place the second bandit charge in time, or I'm not sure what happened really. But in the end, he tried to go for the C4 kill, which was a wonderful idea, which it works sometimes. You can sometimes get double kills of it, but in the end, luckily, unlucky for him, it didn't work. Luckily for GHR, of course, which can really use this kind of situation, a 4 versus 5, where they now have a bit of control. They're actually already close to construction, where the Termite is just ready to open up the first wall towards the bomb site itself, just towards the A bomb, which will certainly give them much more options and fully deny any presence inside of the bomb site itself. Luckily, Azami is picked, however. She can deny some of the line of sights, but attackers are surely on a good track right here.
Yeah, the wall has been at least plugged for the moment with that Azami, and it's not been quite fully, so if anyone is on that side of the map, they will be able to at least still see a little bit on the side there. The NMD, though, is taken off the board with a whoa, a nade at the same time. Nexus is the one to find that. Bucks at the same time finds Hassie, and for the first time in quite some time, we actually see a 1 versus 4 situation in favour of a Void, and Spicy's down below, holding on to the CCTV window, waiting for someone to hop in, though. Spicy has got quite a few kills, though, so if there's anyone that can clutch stuff, it would be him, but there's a player at the top of the red stairs waiting for them, it's Nexus. He's shut down, and it's a 1 versus 3 situation. Spicy will be feeling himself now, and they have to get up and towards the site, though, to get this done, because there's 37 seconds left on the clock, because the diffuser is down, and it is cooking, it's live, so the moves have to be made here for Spicy. Has to find the players before the time runs out, before things get too late. The diffuser's on the desk, the diffuser now located in the eyes of Spicy, but the position has been called out at the top of the red stairs, and Hypnos is able to get that final pick onto Spicy, and the first attacking round for a Void is on the...
Yeah, finally a Void is managing to get the first rounds. It took them 4 rounds. I mean, the 5th round is the one that they won, so 4 versus 1 right now in terms of score, which is a bit late. It's not ideal for them, but in the same time, we need to keep in mind that Entropy picked the defense. So if a Void is still able to make it a 4-2 score, they're doing decent. Like, it's not ideal, it's not great, but it's fine. They can work with it, and they can work things around when they're defending. So technically, things can still go either way at this point. Finally avoid getting the first rounds, and let's just hope for them that it's their start of the comeback and their start to win further rounds as well.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Yep, there's 2 things I want to talk about for how that round was successful, and the big change was obviously the Thatcher change. They were able to open that wall, they got themselves a pick. That's obvious, that one. But the other one that maybe was not noticed as much was actually the Ash changed hands there. It went into the hands of NMD, who didn't actually do anything with it, which is unfortunate. However, what I want to talk about is the fact that the sledge actually moved into the hands of Nexus, who, after in that round, was able to find a nade kill. We've seen the nades not effective in the round the last time. Someone tried to send the nades top red and towards the CCTV area, and none of them landed. Nexus was able to get that. So it's a slight change just off the back of that tactical timeout, and I think that's what the conversation probably was. Nexus is back on the Ash this time, so I don't know what they're thinking is with that. I don't know if they just want to make sure that Nexus can enable it Nexus a little bit more to get those kills, because they are the biggest hitter for the side of GHR. But it was nice to see Nexus get a chance on a different operator and still make good use of it and use that utility, and that helped them win the round.
Yeah, surely it was a good thing to do. Like in the end, to finally analyze what's going wrong, as like you're pointing out, and it surely helped. I'm very happy to see that. Meanwhile, the round has started and the first 30 seconds have been elapsed. Meanwhile, it's like, again, Mephisto going for the first wall opening towards the CCTV area. Just again, creating those first waves into which have been so useful in the past rounds, which really give him like the final bit of control to finally get the right kind of lines of sight, kills, and eventually the entry, which is useful. This time, however, they have decided to drop one of their heart breachers, which is fine, I would say, in this case, especially if Mephisto doesn't lose 3 of his charges on the ADSs. That will be a good thing. But luckily, he has already been able to open up one of those walls, which still leaves him with some of the remaining charges, which you can use later on. Meanwhile, it's actually Spicy playing downstairs, very close to Bar, very close to the Ash playing in kitchen, actually giving damage quite a bit, giving away his position with the punch holes. But the question is, does Ash know about the second punch hole? He actually the Legion just barely missing those shots, or like avoiding those shots. But then Spicy getting the kill on Nexus. That's the first attacker down, a 5 versus 4 situation, with this time the opening kill again, going to Entropy, which of course means a good start for them.
Yeah, really well played there for Spicy, just juggling onto those holes that were made in the wall, and he's able to get himself a pick. Now 5 versus 2, the double C4 there from my friend Dak that comes through, and that's Bucks and NMD dealt with inside the logistics. So logistics push is shut down in its track, so the Bandit moving out towards the breach though finds another one, a triple on the round, and now it's a 1 versus 4 situation. The momentum is all but snuffed out. That Avoid had managed to conjure up for themselves. Entropy are able to take that round straight out from underneath. It looked like so they were in a decent position, but no. They just said no. Entropy were like, yep, we're just going to shut this down before anything else happens.
Yeah, Entropy just saying like, "Oh guys, you were so lucky to just win that one round. That's not gonna we're not gonna let it happen again." And they're just showing like how dominant it can be. Like again, like I said, they are a good team. They have won the previous season, so I'm expecting some things of them. But kind of right now, they're doing really well against GHR. And just being able to come back after just a round loss is of course a very important thing. Like so many times you see them like really decreasing in terms of success after losing one of those rounds, kind of like losing the momentum, losing the like the feeling for the game. But it's a good thing to see that Entropy stays strong, stays positive, and just keeps fighting and just wins a round after losing one. Of course, the 6th round has just finished. We're now heading into the 7th round, where we of course have the rolls up, where it's now a void on the defense and Entropy on the attack, where of course things might just change a bit, where of course the advantage might just be for one of the other teams right now, as one of their roles might just be a bit more suitable for them, but only time will tell.
Yep. There's another thing I do actually want to talk about, because we're going to the basement actually, that I actually just noticed. On the defense, Entropy didn't reinforce any of dirt. So, and twice, both times they went to the basement, GHR went for that attack. So I'm just thinking to myself, did they bait them with that? Is that maybe what they were they trying to play for that rush? Were they just thinking, you know, if they see that soft, they'll rush down here?
I mean, they didn't need to do too much for it. Like, even those pre-placed Goyo canisters on the barricade was already enough to do so much damage on the attacking team. Like, not even droning for those canisters did so much damage to avoid. If they would have just droned out those canisters or just somehow, like, destroyed them before helping in, then would have made a bit more of a bit more potential. But again, like you said, it's actually a good thing you're pointing out. It might have just been that they were just hoping for them to push from that way. Like, it's one of those things you can do in Siege. Like, you can, of course, try to deny everything, or you can kind of try to set down a path for the attacking team, lure them in, and just, destroy them on a pre-planned situation. And you might actually be right that they have been doing that.
Yeah, it just came to mind there when I seen it, because they went up of the dirt hallway just to reinforce it right away, and that's what just kind of brought it to mind. Spicy with the first pick on this round, however, though, on the first attack here, and it is a great pick to find. It's Mephisto inside of, I think it's blue. I think if you end up 1 though, 4 versus 4 though. Hypno's going to send a C4 up underneath Antique, and now we're looking like a pretty balanced situation. The attackers have got themselves comfortable on the map. There wasn't much of a roam game from the defenders. They instead just decided to go for the 5-man turtle. They're just going to the site. And you've also got the dirt area now being opened up with the Habana charges, but there's an angle being held there. Hassi actually narrowly avoids losing their head to the players downstairs inside of the Arsenal area. Now we'll get to work on this hatch to open up the angle, make sure that they have a point of push, but the impact nade will come out though. And it's a fruitless endeavour, because actually misses it off, and now the flashes come down, and is actually at risk of losing their life if they're not able to get out of this position though. Still sending those Habana pellets onto that hatch to get rid of the reinforcement on it though. Nade is cooked to send in there, gets the down though. Obviously that information won't be able to be fed back to Spicy though, who's now on 10 kills. Hypnos is the one that is in that situation, down but not out inside of motorcycle. And now the rotate comes round from the Goyo from behind, but they're aware of it. The drone must have been there. Bucks is the one that stopped in their tracks. No rotate will be able to be found, and now it's a 4 versus 2 situation. The final pick there, the final down, sorry, is found onto Hypnos. Mr. Afrendic is able to find that, and now it's a 2 versus 3. The one bullet into the head of Amelie there. Afrendic at the same time finds Nexus, and it's a 2 versus 1 situation. NMD has it all to do, but look at the HP being held from the other side. Spicy with the final pick, and the attackers of Entropy take yet again another round, and we are on to match point.
It is match point indeed. I was a bit confused for the moment, but indeed it's match point, of course. 6-1 score there for in the advantage of Entropy, who's been doing so well so far. A beautiful round, beautiful attack from them. Really well attempt on denying all those defenders. Some nice flank watch even happening. We saw those late flank from, I believe it was Goyo. They just did a really good job right there. And yeah, with a 6-1 score right now, of course, they are a match point. They have 5 rounds upcoming right now. They just need to win one of those rounds, and of course, it puts them in a great position, which must make them feel very confident at this moment. And on the other side, of course, it's Avoid, who needs to win 5 rounds in a row to deny that match point, which will be a hell of a job. It is possible. We have seen Entropy kind of do the same thing, but at the same time, it's not a very good position to be in.
Yeah, it's really not. A 6-1 match point. You've got to win every single round in the map. And they've not looked the greatest in terms of their. I mean, we've only seen their defense for a second there, but they looked as if they gave in everything and they relied on just the kind of turtle in and down the site, and I don't think they were expecting so much pressure to come down. You've seen all of those box pellets open up the bottom of that kitchen, you've seen the hatch getting opened up, you've seen the flashes come down, the nades coming in. It was hell from above, genuinely, and that was the situation that they found themselves in because they relinquished so much of the map. They just gave them it, they didn't really bother really defending it, there wasn't any spread from them at all, so it's one of those ones where it's the risk to do that and not actually put an effort into it, and hopefully they've got something in the tank this time. Hopefully they can keep us going, because of course if they get to 6 points they'll at least get some points to get 6 rounds.
Yeah, it would be a good thing to at least get some points. Currently, like, they will only get 1 round added to their scoreboard so far, which of course is also one thing that matters, but of course 1 round doesn't make too much of a difference. It's really the points that you need in this situation, and yeah, like you said, in order to get points, it's GHR needs to win 5 rounds in a row to actually get 1 or 2 points due to the overtime. And that's a very tough job ahead for them. We have seen the roll swap, like I said, so it's still potentially possible that defense would just be so much better for them. But things don't seem to be... the chances don't seem to be too great.
Oh wow, Bucks there so close to losing a life, not aware of the fact that someone was holding them from below. It was Antique on the sledge, just holding that angle, waiting for the potential mess up there to come through. Didn't quite mess it up to the extent of losing their life, but there's quite a bit HB to it. Nexus inside of Cash, though, is put straight in the dirt. Spicy's not having any of it, doesn't want to stay and take any gunfights, doesn't want to go back and forward at all, just decides to put them straight into the ground. Hassel finds another one on the NMD this time, and it's looking like it's going to fall apart quickly for the side of Avoid there, but look at that, too quick come back. Hypno is going to find one, and Mephisto at the same time. Hypno is still holding on to that window. There's a player on the other side there. Hassie is now inside a bedroom, so there's at least some sight hold established. Hypno, though, is able to get one onto Hassie. Frendek is able to find one at the same time onto Mephisto, and it's a 2 versus 2 situation, so this could still go either way. Buxo lying in wait for the Iana, finds the down, and that's at least the round now in their control, at least. So there's 2 versus 1 situation. Afrendak now left to do all of the effort now to try and win this one out, and it's still match point, of course, so if Afrendak does get the clutch, wins the game for them, so there's quite a bit of pressure on them. However, there are 2 players remaining on side for the side of Void. They will have to be dealt with. The Melusi Gates may give the player of Ace quite a bit of a headache as they push through that main breach and just pre-fire, and there are so many angles to cover. Not quite sure where the players are, though. The cam is still up, though the information will be fed. Not quite sure if they will know that they'll be at the pushes came through the bathroom area, though, but the angle's still being held, but finds it shot onto Hypno somehow. And look at the HP points on both of these players. Bucks on about 20, Afrendak on about 20s, so it's going to be a big fight here. The defuse comes out, though, and it's just a bait, just to make sure that they can get the information on the player inside the construction. Afrendak moves up, baits it out again. Bucks is going to have to move. There's 18 seconds on the clock, though. Just has to try and win the mental game here. Afrendak is going to have to stick it at some point, and does decide to go for it, but no, the swing comes out, and that's the... all 3 points going to Entropy. Beautifully done there. Well played there. Uses the bait perfectly. Only 10 seconds on the clock there. Got it even down to about 6 or 7 there. So beautifully done. 7-1. Entropy take all the points. And that is all she wrote for the first game tonight.
Yeah, that's a very fast first map for today. 2 players already not longer attending. You would say is like... It's the opponent who has been leaving the match, but actually some Entropy players. So I'm not quite sure whether that MVP screen was complete. Yeah, should be, as it was also the Ace performing so well during this first match. But yeah, either way, a 7-1 score for Entropy. I'm sure that will look beautiful on their group scoreboards for them. But that's of course a very, very nice accomplishment for them. Where of course GHR is not really going up in any way or whatsoever, which is of course a bit tricky for them. They're currently the lowest in their group. They don't have any points so far, and they won't be getting any more today. So Avoid's currently in a very tricky situation. Just 3 more matches upcoming for them, where they really need to step up the game in order to still get enough points to potentially make it to the top 4, because of course the only top 4 can proceed towards the playoffs.
Yep, like I say, we pointed out at the start of the game, the start of the night, when we were going over the schedule, I felt like it was going to be one-sided. It was one-sided, and it's quite frustrating. I think it'll be a frustrating night for Avoid, because they weren't, in that first half, they were actually on a couple of bits and pieces away from at least getting quite a few punches onto Entropy, and they did get the 1 round, of course, they were able to get at least one, but Entropy just proved too strong, just way too strong. And you've seen just at the end there the difference in the golfing class between the players. That final round there with the ESA outplaying the Frost, just going to the back and forward, a kind of cat and mouse type thing, going back and forward between construction and bedroom, using the plant to their advantage and able to win that round. And it was a brilliant match. It was a good match. It was a good match to watch. It's 7-1. It's one of the more entertaining 7-1s I've watched, at least.
Yeah, it surely was. With this first match done for today, we have one more match upcoming, which is E-Wave versus Eagle Empire. Originally, of course, scheduled for 9:15 CET, but we're trying our best to move this match forward as much as possible, so we wouldn't have to wait too long. So we'll keep you guys updated on the match status for that match, but hopefully we can start it like within the next 20 minutes or so, which is still 15 minutes earlier than usual. But we'll keep you guys updated. So just stay tight, just grab a drink, grab a snack, and we'll see you guys in a short time. So stay tight. I'll be back. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Hello and welcome back. Game number 2 is about to get started. It is myself, Chamberlain. I'm joined by Max again for the second game for this evening.
Hello.
It's 9:15 Central Eastern Time that we'll be starting this off, so in just about 3 minutes' time, or 8:15 in the UK, if that's where you're tuning in from. And my extensive range of knowledge doesn't extend to that many time zones, so they're the only two I really know. So, yeah, so next game, E-Wave versus the Eagle Empire. And it's going to be a big one. Let's be honest, Max. It's going to be big.
Yeah, surely, of course. Like we already pointed out in the previous, before the previous match, E-Wave and Eagle Empire teams who are both doing fairly well so far. Currently, Eagle Empire winning all 3 of their matches, while E-Wave has won 2 out of 3, only losing 1 against the number 2, I believe, was against Team Misclick. Yeah, it was against Team Misclick, the number 2 in the group, which was Team Misclick, with a 5-7 score. So also a pretty close match. While Eagle Empire, technically, I mean, let's not call them the less good teams, but maybe like the more unfortunate teams within the group, which kind of might mean some luck for Eagle Empire right there, but it kind of also means that they still have a pretty big challenge ahead, of which, of course, E-Wave is the first of those for now. So yeah, this will be a pretty big match. It will kind of decide the fate of both of these teams. E-Wave currently number 4 in the group, Eagle Empire number 1 in the group. Things will certainly change after today. The question is just what change will we see? But yeah, both of these teams are doing fairly well so far. Both of them also got still a difficult road ahead, while E-Wave did already play against Stark as well, which was match day 1. But so far, yeah, both of them still have some important matches to go, and yeah, this will be the first of them. So I think this starting from today, we'll see a lot of change happening in that group. So yeah, indeed, a very important match, one that we can almost start with. But before we do so, let's actually just jump into the map ends and see which map we're going to be playing on.
Yeah, let's certainly have a look at what destination we'll be heading to for the second game. Of course, we've just came off the back of Clubhouse, which is the most picked map now. Well, sorry, not the most picked. It's the second most. There's Chile as well that's been the most picked. But yeah, we'll have a look and see what one we're going to be heading to. Border, the first to be banned away by E-Wave. Not surprised to see Border go. It's a very difficult map, I think, anyway, to find comfort on. It's one of those maps where there's never really like a safe place to kind of play. It doesn't feel nice. I don't know if it's just personal opinion for me, but I think that's one of the reasons it's banned away a lot. Banking Club next to go. Banned early is quite a surprising one because Club has made the pretty much, it's either been played or it's got to well deep into the ban phase at least before it's been banned away. Skyscraper, not surprised as well. It's another one that I think has the same kind of feeling as Border, where it feels a little bit uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable, but the That map though has a difference though, where it can feel a bit nice to go onto for best of ones because no one wants to really show strats as much, and because it's a map that requires a bit more, you usually tend to see people going on to that a bit more, but not so much in the last couple of weeks. It's usually been Chalet has usually been the one we've been on. Clubhouse is another one, and that's generally what the maps kind of have looked like. Oregon Cafe as well going. Oregon hasn't been played as much as I thought it would. That's a very best of one map, and it's barely been played, so I'm quite surprised to see it not being played as much. Villa as well has been one of the most picked bands as well. Sorry, most picked maps. The two most played ones are both Villa and Chalet. They're the most played ones that we've seen, and those narrowly just been banned away for us to go to Theme Park, which is only the second time we've been to Theme Park, and I'm actually quite surprised to see the old logo there for Theme Park. That's been a while since it looked like that on the map.
Oh, yeah, right.
But
Whoa.
yeah, it's Theme Park we're going to. It's reworked Theme Park as well,
Yeah.
and the defense is U-Wave.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting thing to point out. Like, of course, one of the things that MapBan was behind on was also the Solace ban for the operator cards. One that we weren't able to show in the overlays of MapBan. So there's actually one more thing that they haven't updated yet. So might as well give him a little heads up on that one as well. Of course,
It's nice to see, though.
It's just such a tiny detail. It doesn't matter too much. It's just only really the main door that has been blocked and the window, the extra window that has been placed there. Besides that, there's not actually really any change really. But still, yeah, it's, like you say, it's not nostalgic. It's a nice way to just be reminded of what a map used to look like. Just think back on how Theme Park actually used to look like with the trains section, which now has been like completely removed. But it used to be such an interesting place with so many hiding spots, so many little corridors and windows and doors. Oh, I mean, I'm kind of glad that it's gone, but it was also such a fun place to play in.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the maps are quite fun before they get reworked, but it's just because obviously the competitive integrity isn't quite there on some of them, so they get touched up a little bit. One thing I want to very quickly mention just about the teams, just we were talking about them there and stuff like that, but in terms of the groups, obviously Eagle Empire at the top, 3 wins out of 3, Team Misclick second, 3 wins out of 3, so they're both on 9 points.
Yeah.
E-Wave, of course, on 6 points, so this is a big game for them to break into that top 2. If they win, if this would be much better for them to win than for Eagle Empire. If Eagle Empire drop points here, it's not as big a deal as what E-Wave is, because E-Wave are at a deciding point. We've just seen Entropy win, so they move on to 7 points. So that's where things get spicy, because they're both so close. E-Wave need this win to stay within, to keep them in the safe part. They don't want to be sitting on that 4th spot. Of course, top 4 go through the playoffs. They don't want to be sitting on that 4th spot, so that's where things get a little bit tricky. They don't want to, if they lose out, they've also still got to play Entropy as well later on in the thing. So if they win this and Entropy continue to win their games, that is going to be a massive game in their second last week of the group stages.
Yeah. The group stages, of course, one of the things that we're now like in the 4th week, so we'll soon be heading to the 5th week, after which we just have like a few more remaining up to week 7. After which we'll of course have the playoffs. One of the things that I was just thinking about while we were just having this break earlier, I'm looking forward so much to those BO3s. Like, of course, throughout the whole group stage, we're having BO1s, which are fun, of course. But just imagine if we actually have had some BO3s like here in the group stage as well. Like, there were so many matches which were just so close. We would have loved to see more maps happening between those two teams, or where teams got like absolutely destroyed, where they will still have a chance on a second map. I just really love BO3s. So I'm super excited for those as well.
Yeah.
But before we can head to the point, of course, we need to finish these group stages. And before we can finish those group stages, we need to have all players in lobby. One thing that's not happening at the moment, just missing one more player. So we're just going to talk a little bit longer before we can actually start this match. But
Yeah, unfortunately, unlike SI, of course, we don't control when the players start. Of course, everybody knows at Six Invitational, the casters are the ones that are definitely in charge of starting the games. That's how it works, of course. We're not in charge of that.
Yeah, surely not. It's still one of the things that teams need to get used to, that the rules kind of change compared to the previous season. Not all players seem to be fully aware of that yet. Previous season, you usually had like the starting time and then 15 minutes to join in. Well, actually, this season, it's just basically the time that you're getting is like a guiding time, like it's like an estimation of when you're starting. But technically, you are supposed to start like within 15 minutes after the previous match, which of course didn't happen today. But still, the teams were given then the chance to still join by 21:15. But some players still seem to be thinking that you actually get 15 minutes after 21:15, which is not the case. So let's just hope that they join as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate.
Otherwise we're going to have a very interesting match with either 4 versus 5 or the match not happening at all, which will be such a shame. So let's just hope that those players just get in here as quickly as possible, because I would really love to see this match, because I think this is going to be a really, really interesting one to see.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they get a player in, because it's a big one for them, and you know, this is a match that needs to be won from both. Like, Eagle Empire can afford to drop the points. They can. Like, let's be honest here. If they drop the points, it's not going to be the end of the world. They still have 3 games left that they can, you know, close things out. Ideally, they don't want to, of course, but can if they need to. eWave will need to win, or things are going to start to look a little bit hairy down in the bottom part of that group, because we're starting to see the 4 top going to start moving away. And I think I'm just looking at confirmation. I think it looks like we have everybody in. So we're ready to go, which is wonderful. We're going to get our matchup. We're going to get our tense game, hopefully. And usually every time I say that, we end up getting a 7-1 or something.
Yeah, unfortunately, no nice introduction video for this map. I don't have them for all the maps, especially since, of course, Theme Park was also updated eventually. So the video will be completely wrong. So I unfortunately cannot show that one. But at least we can finally hop straight into this match. Finally started with Team Blue, Team eWave, starting as a defending team, starting with an attacking banner, which in this case is Nuck. One that's not surprising at all. We have seen it in the previous match and many matches before. So it's Nuck off the boards, and we won't see her during this match.
It's a surprising one to me, because I think that Knock also comes into that box where Solus has been that comfort ban. That's what I think, because Knock, yeah, she has a good gun, yeah, she has nades, but I haven't really seen her being used that effectively, and it does feel like people just pick her because they see people picking her, like, thing. I mean, and I've not really seen her intertwined into a setup, really. And maybe that's just because she's been banned 17 times.
Yeah, true. But like in the end, like Nuck is such an operator. I think we'll have it's one of those operators that have a higher success rate throughout the higher ranks in Siege. Like in the higher ranks, teams and players really rely on sounds, which of course is one of the things that Nuck can mask using her ability. But second, also intel. And using her ability, of course, she has the option to stay away from certain detecting electronics, such as cameras. And just having those, like being able to avoid those, teams can no longer fully rely on their utility. And by having Nuck banned, of course, that's one of the major concerns taken off the board. They can just fully rely on cameras. As long as the camera is up, they can trust what they're seeing there. And I think that this is one of the major reasons we're seeing so many Nuck bans, really.
Yeah, could well be. Of course, other bands that just rounded out the round there was Ace, Mira, and Solus. I'm not even going to talk about Solus, let's be honest. It's almost wasted breath at this point, because she has now, that'll be 25 times she's been banned in this league. So she's going to be well up on probably 60% ban rate at this point. It's a massive ban rate. So, not surprised to see her go. Mira is a nice ban, I think, for this map. It's one of those ones where she does have a big impact, of course, with players on the top floor inside the cache. Usually she's played in there. So that's very much a strong ban to be bringing out. Ace as well, it's always a well-balanced map. It's always nice to take away one of the hard breachers, just to give a little bit less option to the attackers as well.
Yeah, and as the preparation phase is now starting, we're actually seeing some players hop upstairs, which is always an interesting thing to see. Like something that's not true default, especially not on a bomb site like this. Like, surely you will see roamers, especially since the top floor can be valuable in both hands. But having such a heavy setup on the top floor, it's not necessarily common. And I'm very happy to see this kind of creative setups. I'm also questioning what this means for the bottom floor. I mean, there's 2 walls towards barrel and not being reinforced so far. They still do have 3 reinforcements, so they could still decide to do so. I don't see any reason to leave it soft anyway at this point. But as long as no one is really reinforcing it, I'm just questioning whether it will happen. But just a really heavy top floor presence at this moment, which I'm very curious to see how this will play out for the attacking team, which of course can be quite difficult for them to deal with.
Yeah, you mentioned the setups there just for this map. Of course, we came to theme. It was actually Eagle Empire that decided the last ban. So it was between Chalet and this.
Yeah.
I think the eWave were probably expecting to go to Chalet, because it's been picked so much.
Yeah, also by
I don't think
Eagle.
they've been expected to be here. So they're going to have to show a little bit more in terms of setup if they have picked this map. So, of course, EE chose it, so they'll have an idea at least. Early pressure from the hatch. It's Zeri to get up onto the pressure to get. Yeah, Girdle still peeking it. Ravas.
He's not giving up.
Is it Ravs, I guess? Is still swinging up onto that hatch. Still intent to go back and forward to get something out of it, but there's quite a bit of damage onto Zeri. Opening pick though is going to go towards Dex, who finds Solars inside of the... I'm not sure where he was, where we lost that player, but we'll find out in just a second. I think it was a cash clear that they potentially were able to be rewarded with that opening pick. But a little bit of a stalemate. Of course, the first kind of engagements tend to happen, and then things slow down throughout the round, really.
Yeah, and now it's already a 5 versus 4 situation where the first attacker has fallen, but just at the 1 minute 30 mark, it's Vital to kill Sleeper, but then Dipsy with another kill on Vital. It's a refrag happening right there. It's a 4 versus 3 situation, but the Termite has fallen. Luckily, the Maverick hasn't been banned, so they still have some hard-bridging options, really, even though it might be a bit tricky to use him on a bomb site like this, but still, they do have some options here, which is a good thing to see. Also, Enjoy Your Life still in play, which can still play some of those Nomad air jabs to set off some of those potential flank areas, and then Zeri still on the Jackal, who can still try to locate some of those defenders which are potentially still playing upstairs. I mean, are they? No, actually every single defender has fallen back downstairs, which is of course a very smart thing to do so. Only 50 seconds back on the clock, which is actually good time management from the defending team. They have wasted a decent amount of timing, and actually Enjoy Your Life gets a kill, and then it's a 3 versus 3 situation with 40 seconds on the clock. Things can really go either way at this point. Still Zeri low in HP, but still everything is possible. And it will really come down to these final 30 seconds.
Yeah, a little bit of a stalemate now. Of course, no one really wants to move after this burst of aggression comes out from both sides. And like you say, third 3 versus 3 situation. Zeri not in the greatest HP situation, but the attackers push in here. Robson's going to find one onto Dipsy this time, behind that bomb chassis. Not quite as safe as they possibly thought, though. Coming back to site, though. Now, Dex, though, is going to find one onto Zeri, and now it's a 2 versus 1 situation. Ravs, though, is taking quite a bit of damage. We'll quite leave the shots there. It's Dex to come out on top, and E-Wave are able to win out that defense on initiation. Not initiation. Armory.
Yeah, that's the first round going to E-Wave. Like, I want to actually talk back about what you were talking about the map bans. Indeed, yeah. I do think that E-Wave was thinking to go to Chalet, especially since Eagle Empire played it 2 times before and won it 2 times before. So I think they were really not expecting Eagle Empire to ban Chalet.
Yeah.
But I also think that Eagle Empire is of course quite aware that the tricks that they had up on the sleeve on the map are kind of like expired, like spoiled, given away up to this point. So they might not have too many tricks on the map left at this moment, and therefore it might just be a good moment for them to just prepare other maps as well in the background and play those. And it might even just have been a ban strategy from them as well to just try to leave Chalet in, which potentially even E-Wave has prepared for to play against them, as they would have potentially expected Eagle Empire to play there. But them just banning Chalet as the final map by Eagle Empire, that might just be a really smart thing from them to bring this match to Team Park. One of the questions, though, which team will be better on this map. I'm not sure whether you pointed out already before, but yeah, Team Park was only played once before in ESA during the season, so this will only be the second time ever seeing it. I believe the first time was also streamed, so this is the second time on stream then. But still, it's a very map that you don't see too often, and I'm very happy to see it. And I'm very curious to see which team will be victorious in the end.
Yeah, the thing obviously with E-Wave coming to this, they need the points, so they're going to have to show a lot more than what Eagle Empire will have to show. Eagle Empire will very much approach this as what most people approach a best of 1, at least early in the season. They rely on gun skill. They don't rely on as much of a strats and showing a lot of stuff. You can see it just now. Look at the setup that E-Wave are putting it. That kind of Palo area that just at the top of the Dragon Stairs. So much utility there. The Zami playing, the ADSs, they're showing their setups a lot more than what they probably would have liked to do because they need these points. So Solos is going to open up the scoreboard though in the second round here. Schlebu though falls victim, and that is the Oryx shutdown. Of course, we never spoke about the fact that there's an Oryx on the round here, but this Zami is going to be the issue here that has to be solved for Eagle Empire. Just holding towards that cash corridor there. It has to be dealt with before anything can be made. And is that a shotgun I can see on Jaeger, I think? I think that's what Ravs is holding inside of cash. Just going to be an absolute menace here. Swings onto the door and looks to try and get himself a freebie. Can't quite land the shot and does actually land the shot. Ravs is going to get that freebie onto Zeri. Hops back to site though. Is cut off on the rotate from the player on, I believe, the bathroom window was the one that was able to get that. Robson gets it. And they have been able to clear out that area at the top of the Dragon Stairs. Dips has fallen back and relinquished that area, and now they are able to get this site at least accessed and through cash.
Yeah, we're also seeing Zero on the side of Eagle Empire, one of those operators they really seem to like to be playing, especially for gathering intel and watching flanks. Meanwhile, also, they managed to take out one more player on the defensive side, which was, I believe, Dipsy, who just got taken out. This brings this round to a 2 versus 4 situation with double the amount of attackers alive compared to the defending players. So the remaining EWave players are certainly up for a big challenge right here, especially as Tenny does get spotted out. He doesn't get damaged in the end, but in the end, it's Robson pushing on through further and further into Office Vault, from where he has a pretty nice line of sight. If Tenny just walks a little bit further backwards, he would be spotted. But in the end, he does expose himself. Robson with a kill, just leaving Dex all alone in the situation. Was a triple kill by Robson right there, and just Dex here all alone in this 1 versus 4 situation. Will he get any other kill? He does do a lot of damage on Vitals, which potentially could heal himself back up. But in the end, no, it's Dex with a kill there on Robson. A 1 versus 3 situation with a little bit of HP left on the remaining Frost player. Does find Vitals on top of Yellow Stairs. Does do a bit of damage, but no, in the end, it's Vitals with the final kill as the diffuser was attempted to be planted. And this is then a round for the other team, Eagle Empire, putting the score on 1-1, which means this match is certainly starting out a bit more interesting compared to the previous match that we saw today.
Yep, certainly is. And just as I mentioned, that they are like the way this plays, obviously, with it being a best of 1 and not being a best of 3, teams want to hide their strats. They don't want to be going to maps where they have to pull out these extravagant strats every single week. They want to go to one where it's just decided on. You know, they can fill out the basics, they can tick the boxes, and usually these come down to gun skill. That's usually what happens. It's only when you see the big teams play against each other. E-Wave and Eagle Empire, of course, they're both in the top 4 just now, so they're having to show a bit more. Eagle Empire, though, they played it the way that I would expect the BO1 to kind of play out. In that one, they just brought the aggression. They were in there, sent the drones in, relied on that gun skill, and it just pretty much unlocked a defense there from E-Wave, even though they had what looked like a pretty solid defense. They had, you know, a couple of players supporting each other with the cash. They had the Azami there, but they were cleared out relatively easy. They didn't really look as if there was much effort it actually took. So it's unfortunate there for E-Wave. It worked the first time, the nice kind of delayed tactic on the top floor of the roam game, but it didn't quite work out in terms of that one there. But they're going to this site here, going towards daycare this time, and we'll see what they've got up their sleeve for this defense.
Yeah, and we're previously talking that this could be a really tough match for like either of these two teams, and I think the viewers actually agreeing with us, because in the end the prediction has ended, where a total of 12 people casted a vote, for which we were very thankful. But in the end, 6 votes for each team, so that's an even vote count for each team. Just the channel points, even also being distributed almost 50%. Just a little bit more channel points for Eagle Empire, but in terms of percentage, it stays the same, 50-50. So it's really a 50-50 match right there, 50-50 prediction. So this promises to be a really, really interesting match if that's going to happen. Potentially even overtime then.
Yeah, no, just really depends where we go to, but the early pressure coming from the cash side, of course, same sweep as before, although slightly different though. There's a little bit sneaky play coming up from Solars, who's headed up the yellow stairs, and no one's aware of the fact that they're holding here. 5 versus 4 though. Schlebo opens up the scoreboard here on this round. The drops in a look at this. It's going to be a yellow ping and a freebie onto the Wamai, who's on the cams and not aware. Look, instead goes for the double, gets the Azami from behind and looking for the triple inside of the site. The bearings out in hand and the triple for Zeri inside the daycare. Just wanders up the staircase and gets a free triple. Solar though with another onto Ravs, and look at this, it's completely been dissected here on the defense for E-Wave, now down to 1 player inside of Lab, just moving through the map, gets at least 1. Will that be a consolation? We'll find out in a second if they can get Solars and enjoy your life and get them taken down. No, Schlebo though having to rotate though, having to do the work to get back to site, not quite aware of where the players are though, is conscious of someone holding on, won't quite see the head, but surely this has been heard. Solars will know that there's someone there, know that there's a player coming up that staircase, know that Schlebo's there, and will get that kill, finishes it off, and that was beautifully done, that execute from Eagle Empire. Just found the back door, into that defense, up the yellow staircase, triple on the round instantly, and it just fell apart for E-Wave.
Such a discipline there on the trigger of Zeri. Just wait, like I was just waiting, like, dude, are you really going to try to just troll a bit here? Are you just going to wait for the clean headshot, which is could be such a risk, because he there could just be players anywhere at this moment. It was such a risk, but in the end it paid off so well. Just standing right behind the Wamai, which was just waiting on this cam, taking off another player first before taking out the Wamai, and as Wamai of course noticed what was going on, it was already too late. He was then taken out as well, and such a beautiful play there from Zeri. I'm very happy that was shown on stream so beautifully, and I am hello. It's such a good play right there. So beautiful to see, And I can expect where this timeout is coming from right now for E-Wave, as of course they are not happy about that situation.
Probably not. There's probably someone getting a little bit of a berating for that. That was definitely someone's mistake, was to probably have an eye on that staircase, and or they've just did the setup and there's just been that assistant area they've not considered, because there's 2 players there. They've entered the site, and I think they'll enter from lockers. I think that's where they came in from. There is a cam there at the bottom of the yellow staircase, and Womai was on the cam, so there should have been the knowledge that someone had either destroyed that cam or been on that cam and seen them coming up the yellow staircase. So someone's made a mistake somewhere in terms of either feeding the intel or the camera's basically been destroyed or something like that. That's where it's been wrong. And then you seen the trigger discipline, brilliantly done. Because if that's me, I don't know if I would have been able to hold off that long. I don't know. I think I probably maybe would have killed Womai, and then but obviously just spotted the Zami, got himself that kill, and that dealt with the Zami inside that kind of dragon area, and it was wonderfully done.
Yeah, like it's such, like I said, like such a disciplined way to play. Like, like it's so safe to just get that kill. Because like, of course, it is a risk that you don't get to kill if you play like this, like that you get taken out instead. But in the end, it paid off so well. Like potentially, he did have the intel to know that he could make this kind of move. We're not 100% sure, but whatever happened, whatever was the case, it's such a beautiful play, and really paid off. And yeah, now we're heading into the 4th round of this match. Currently, of course, a 1-2 score in the advantage of Eagle Empire. They lost the 1st round, but then won 2 in a row, and now we'll be heading into the 4th round. But yeah, Sleewood starts off things very nice for the team, taking out Robson. It's a maverick off the boards. Luckily, not the only hard breacher, but an important one, however, because there is no EMP nades available, so they do kind of rely on the Maverick. Although, yeah, there is a mute jammer, there's mute in place, so they kind of need to deal with those. And with the Maverick, this will be a bit more difficult.
Yep, just on the hatch there, Robson was just looking to open up nice and quick, but the C4 was ripped and sent up, and it found its mark. So that is, like you say, a lot of utility off the board, and they're going to have to put a lot of effort in to try and deal with any of the utility that they do face. Solars, though, of course, just going to sneak into initiation. Why not? Of course, the same as the last time. Are E-Wave going to be paying attention to this? Look how far he's getting in towards initiation. Again, the same play, the 2nd time in a row. Malusi this time is the victim. 10 taken down outside that area inside of, I think it's waiting room, if I remember rightly, where that shield is. Yeah, and that's twice. Solars has just decided to sneak in. This time they're the one that gets to benefit from it and isn't overtaken by Zeri. It's actually they're able to get the kill this time, and Ravs, though, getting himself in a bit of an engagement over towards the cafeteria area, and it's Joy of Life that's on the reverse of that fight. Has the 2 teams in hand. Will being favoured position here, sends a flashbang in, and it does actually find Ravs there, so there's no ADSs to protect them, and it's just going to be a little bit of a stalemate for the now as they hold off towards that cafe area.
It's just a matter of time for the Jaeger to actually be locked in, to be found and be trapped, but in the end it's actually Zeri with the kill there on Revs. See Jaeger taken out, was of course his position was so well known. He was so focused on that, on Enjoy Your Life, but in the end he does get taken out. Again, beautiful play right there. It's a 3 versus 4 situation right now with 50 seconds on the clock and still 4 attackers alive. So the attackers are in a decent position right now, especially in terms of man counts, but the time is starting to work against them. 40 seconds on the clock. They still have to breach some walls, I believe. I don't think any of the walls have been breached. Really? No, they have not. And Hibana still has all over 18 pallets, so there's still like, a lot of work to do for the attacking team. But as long as Solars gets another kill there on decks, they now have to double the man count, which is certainly a good advantage for them. And with the Monty on the board, they do have some options to still make an entry through one of those doors. But with smoke canisters now coming out, it will get a bit more tricky.
Yep, 3 smoke canisters still in the box. Well, 1 just sent out, but there's still 2 left to go. So there is one. I'm actually talking rubbish. There's no smoke canisters left. The Schleb was actually to find the SMG 11 kill onto Solars, though. The Monty, though, will be steamrolling into the site, though, and the shotgun in hand flicks around and is able to get at least 1 down and just decides to teabag the round out because he knows that he's been pinched from behind and can't do anything against the Monty. And that is it for that round. Eagle Empire have a wonderful attack pieced together, and it just seems to be unlocking that defense into E-Wave just by the sneaky plays every single time.
Yeah, like I was even like at one point I was waiting to point out like whether the Yana Solars was even aware of the smoke and the mute being on Dragon Stairs, because like they were so close to him, but he just completely ignored him. I think he was aware because at one point even one of the smoke canisters was thrown, so he must have known, but yet he just decided to ignore them, which of course threw the other players on the top floor so off guard because they really did not expect the Yana to push onto them. And yeah, I think this is just really the success of Eagle Empire, just really thinking differently at the moment. Like I was about to say out of the box, but I'm not sure whether you can think called out of the box. We're just thinking a bit further, like, hey, what is the consequence if I do things a bit differently? And it's really working out for them at the moment. It's a really good thing to see. And then also in the end, of course, the really nice clutch attempt from the smoke. He didn't manage to injure the Hibana. Had a nice and close call with the Monty. So in the end, it could have become a 1 versus 1 situation, which he could have potentially survived as the time was running out. But unfortunately, still for him, he was taken out in the end. And that's a run for Eagle Empire, putting the score on 1-3.
Yep, been a wonderful game so far for ESA Empire, and they're really getting this attacking cohesion under wraps here. They're getting it perfectly every single time. They're playing off the information. You've seen the information that was fed to the Hibana last time to get that kill onto the back of the Jaeger plane inside the cafe. So they've clearly been communicating properly. They've clearly got this well-worked attack together. The thing I'm seeing though as well is they're not actually showing a lot in terms of their takes. You've seen they didn't breach a single wall on Armory. That is almost unheard of. It doesn't really happen that much. So they're not showing how that happened. He basically just did the roam clear, moved through it, you relied on that gun skill, relied on that coordination, and it's almost like a good, because they're a good attacking team at the minute, and that's what they're showing us, they're just getting the results every single time. And also it helps that Solars is able to sneak into these areas and get themselves into good positions time and time again. So hopefully this time E-Wave have learned their lessons and they plug those holes and those gaps in the defense, and they're able to get another round on the board.
Yeah. And once again, we're also seeing the zero back in play. Again, the operator pointed out it's being played quite often by Eagle Empire. It seems they just really rely on that information. They really prefer to pick it over the Nomad really to gather information on the opponent team. Also to watch the flanks, of course. Having someone watch the flank actively is way more valuable. Something we're seeing Enjoy Your Life do at the moment. So it's really just helping them at the moment to just really have the control they need. Meanwhile, it's Dex, however, getting the first opening kill on Vitals. That's a buck of the board. It's a 5 versus 4 situation, with currently Dex still playing upstairs on the upper gate, finding Zeri as well. That's a double kill for him. That's also the Hibana taking off the boards, the one and only Heartbreacher, although no, they still have Zero playing with the secondary Heartbreaching utility. So there is still some Heartbreaching options, and luckily for him, he's able to avoid this before being thrown at him. Otherwise, they would have lost their final Heartbreaching utility. Then Robson killed with a kill on Slibu, and then unfortunately, like a very unfortunate drop here for Solars, getting whoa, as he walked backwards into barrel, walking into the cap trap. Very unfortunate. He might have just got the kill if he would have survived there, but unfortunately for him, he does get taken out. So it's a 5 versus 2 situation in the advantage of E-Wave at the moment.
Oh, I apologise, I shouldn't laugh there, but that is one of the luckiest rounds I've seen so far in my whole time watching Siege. Dex was literally millimetres away from being killed by Zeri inside of the, I think it was daycare at the time. You just had to move an inch back and it rotated and it would have been dead to rights. But no, he gets lucky, finds Zeri on the prone, and then obviously the Capcan there just drops down, steps backwards, doesn't expect there to be one there. Should have got a double but doesn't get it because the Capcan just stops it. Tenno is going to get another one onto Enjoy Your Life, and it looks as though E-Wave have at least found a little bit of luck to get themselves around, and Rav's there to close it out with the final pick for E-Wave, and they're back on the board. They get themselves a defense on Theme Park.
Yeah, finally again E-Wave fighting back after losing 3 rounds in a row. They got the opening round, but then lost 3 and now won another one, putting the score on 2-3. And now we'll be heading into the round 6, the final round before the roll swap will happen. So the final defensive round for E-Wave, at least for the normal match rounds, unless we go to overtime, of course. We won't see them defend anymore after this round. And the final one for Eagle Empire, was doing very well in the attack. I think Eagle Empire was also the team who decided to go on the attack, as they... No, actually, no, it's E-Wave starting the map bans, so they were actually deciding to go for the defense, which so far hasn't really paid off yet. Like, if they can still make it a 3-3, it's a doable situation, but not ideal. Like, you usually want to get at least 4, really. But 3-3 is certainly doable, but it's really up to them to make that happen. If they don't, they will be 2 rounds ahead once more. And then Eagle Empire will be in a pretty good situation. But let's just see how they will be doing. Well, they'll be heading back to Armory Throne, which is we have seen 2 times before. 1 time it was won, 1 time it was lost, right? Am I saying that correctly?
The thing is, they keep scattering things around so much. I think they've only been on it once. They keep scattering. Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right. This is the 3rd time.
Yeah, right.
You're right.
Yeah.
You are right. There was the first time they won it with the roam on the top 4. Second time they lost it with the smoke and the Monty play.
Yeah.
And this is the 3rd time they've gone back there. So yeah. In the last round, I couldn't even dissect that with any type of analysis because it genuinely was luck with that. Like Eagle Empire were so well with their clears. They thought it looked like it was like, yeah, they cut off the rotate with Arcade, and then you accidentally step backwards into a Capcan trap. You just don't expect that to happen. A little bit of a jump out there just to start things off. Enjoy Your Life taking a little bit of damage there just from the balcony up towards Cash. And of course the site is Armory, so they're still doing this kind of extension up to the top floor this time. Solar's going from a hatch inside of Control. They do have a player being met on that kind of angle. You can see that's just been carved out inside of the initiation area. Is the alibi of Dex though. Rav though is going to find Zeri, and now things get up and running for this round here to see if we're going to be going to a 3-3 split or if we're going to be going to a 4-2 split.
It's a 5-4 situation with just the first minute just ending as if we're actually almost getting a second as the player was playing there, which is Robson, but luckily Robson is being able to refrag right there. It's a 4 versus 3 situation, but as we speak, Solar is being injured and finished off by Dex, after which 10 also getting killed on Robson. Things are certainly going much better this round for E-Wave, as it's currently a 4 versus 1 situation with Enjoy Your Life. Maybe not enjoying his life much longer, as he's in a 4 versus 1 situation. However, he still has 1 minute and 30 seconds. He has 2 EMP nades, no drones, but still 2 scans. So there's still some option for him, but it will be a tough one. But let's just see how he will do.
Yep, they've pretty much all fallen back to sight with the exception of the Jaeger of Ravs, who's feeling a little bit excited to try and get this final kill there. Knows that someone has to go out and search for this intel to find out where Enjoy Your Life is playing, so at least they know they're on the top floor still moving around, so they have that info. Probably going to go and get this diffuser just to at least give them a chance. Like you say, loads of time left. There's still a minute left on the clock, which is so much time in terms of siege time. Cam though will spot out Enjoy Your Life at the top of the Dragon Stairs, so everyone will be aware of their positioning. You can see the Demolicy of 10 just at the bottom of that door there, just waiting for the peak to come out from Enjoy Your Life. But looks as up, just going to eject himself from the situation, goes to Control and just holds it for a second. It might just be a little kind of tactical timeout for them in game and talk things out a little bit. Consolation there for Rav, Enjoy Your Life, even as he's able to find Ravs. Maintenance though, Dex is able to get the final pick there, and it's on to Enjoy Your Life that is dealt with after that 1 versus 3 situation. Came down the staircase, not expecting one to be in the hallway. Looks like we're getting a game from this because E-Wave take us on to 3 each.
Yeah, it's a 3-3 score. Like I said, it's the best that E-Wave could really make out of the position they have been in. Of course, at one point it was a 1-3 score. So at least it makes things a little bit more workable for them by winning the final 2 rounds of that half. By winning those, by making a 3-3 score. Ideal would have been a 4-2 score, but still 3-3 is workable. But now we have the rolls up, so things might just really change up right now. It's Eagle Empire on the defense, while E-Wave now needs to go for the attack. Like I always say, things might just go completely differently, as one role might just work out a bit better for you, might just be might match your type of gameplay strategy a little bit better, but we won't know until we see it. So let's see how these teams will be doing. Let's see the defensive setup from Eagle Empire and then the attack from E-Wave.
Yeah, this is where things get a little bit more spicy as we get deeper into this kind of setup in this game. As we get further in, 3 each, of course, not quite the half that I think Eagle Empire were expecting, especially that early kind of momentum. Obviously, they lost the opening round to E-Wave, and then they've got 3 rounds in a row, and I think that was probably starting to feel comfortable and think, you know what, we can just go about the motions and we'll get these things. And then that 1 round where a little bit of bad luck plays into it, and suddenly the momentum shifted in E-Wave's favour, who, of course, they're changing onto the attack. This might change the momentum, but I'm hoping that it doesn't affect it too much. I'm hoping we still get this back and forth kind of play and stuff like that, and things are getting a bit kind of tighter as we get to the end of this game. And I'm hoping that we get an overtime. I'm wanting overtime. I'm excited for some overtime. That's what I want to see from this.
It will surely be a very interesting thing for the standings of this group. Like earlier, we were just talking about like getting 3 points for one of the teams, but overtime, of course, gives only 2 and 1 point to the teams. Like 2 for the winning team, 1 for the losing team, which would be even more interesting for this for the score in this group right now. So that would certainly be a very interesting thing to see. And yeah, currently they're on track. It's a 3-3 score. Also, the prediction in the chat was a 50-50. So it might just happen. This is promising to be a very interesting and close match. This is very enjoyable so far, and let's just see how things will go for the remainder of this match.
Yeah, we certainly will. Monty on the board this time from Dipsy, so we'll get to see what they are going to cook up with this operator. Of course, the mountain quite difficult to deal with, and usually the focal point for the attack. And of course, there's an extension out here towards initiation. It's the same idea as what we've seen from most teams do the extension to initiation if they're playing that stuff like that. If they're playing towards, I think the site is initiation. Actually, I thought it was actually daycare, but no, it's not even an extension. It's actually just actually in initiation and office as well. There's 2 players. There's only 2 players to actually put up a fight towards this kind of east side push that's coming out from the attackers of E-Wave, and there's no one to kind of hold that in the area. We've seen the Zami play last time. The Hibana pilot's coming in now to open up cache. And there's not much action. It seems as though it's just slowly happening and ticking away throughout this round. Schlevo, though, is the first one to get the pick, got to enjoy your life, though, and now it's all just starting to come into play. Schlevo is able to push through site, gets himself a double, and looking for the triple. The LMG sings out, though, and Echo's somehow able to escape the site, gets down through the hatch. It's Zeri onto about 20 HP, though. Robson, though, is the final one that is dealt with inside the site. Oh, it's a quad from Schlevo! It just dissects this defense here. He's able to get in his site and gets to all 4 members that are there, but Zeri is somehow able to escape with their life and is just going to pause and wait. And it looks as though this is a tactical timeout within the game. We're going to see Zeri wants nothing to do with that. Not even going to give Schlebu the satisfaction of giving them this opportunity for the ace. Just going to sit in maintenance and just play out the time. The diffuser there, but look at Schlebu is on the hunt. It's been activated. Hunter killer mode is here, seeking out this player. Wants the ace, coming around the corner. Does he know he's in here? He will find it. And it's an ace. The flawless round for Schlebu. It just goes into the site and kills every single member. And there was one member, though, that was able to escape ever so slightly, Zeri. But just got out there, obviously, at the end, of course, the tactical timeout. That's probably what's happening there. Probably just discussing things. Not expecting Schlebu to get on the hunt for him. And what a beautiful round there from E-Wave.
Yeah, I was about to point out like how slow E-Wave was like in the initial first 2 minutes, really, even of this round. So I was like, oh, they're just not looking good for them. Like they still have an Echo in play. There's still shields. There's smoke. There was so much on the board for Eagle Empire. Even still some C4, I believe. So they were like in a really good position, the defending team, Eagle Empire. And after that, just really things took off. Like E-Wave really stepped up their momentum. They got one kill after another. Was especially what was it again? It was Schlebu making his way inside of the bomb site, just getting those kills really early on, in a really short moment of time. In the end, it was the Echo just barely escaping, just making his way to a hiding spot from where he was hoping to be able to control his Echo drones just in time to still be able to deny the plant in a 5-versus-1 situation. Oh man, that would have been such a good situation. But unfortunately, the plant went just down a little bit earlier than he was hoping to. Otherwise, he could have had a very cool ending of the round. But of course that didn't happen. That was a beautiful execute from E-Wave, especially towards the end of the round. And I really think that Eagle Empire does kind of need to step up their defense, because it did something like that shouldn't be that easy, especially with just 1 minute left.
I actually think I know what happened and how that came to be, because I think that E-Wave actually made the same mistake I did. I think that they thought that the site was daycare and it was an extension that they were seeing. I don't think they realised that it was initiation until, because they got a foothold in cache, the top of Dragon, and control. That's the 3 points you don't want to concede at all if you're on initiation defense. You don't want to give so much map control, because then you've only got 2 walls and a doorway to defend, really. So they gave that so early to E-Wave, and I think E-Wave were like, wow, whoa, well, we've got control of this. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, surely there's going to be some more defense put into this and more effort into this, and there wasn't that at all. And I think that's what E-Wave were like, oh, well, they're not defending this, so let's just go straight in the site. And that's exactly what they did. They went in, 4K inside it, almost a 5 kills within the site for Schlebu, gets the 4th eventually, or the 5th of it even, eventually onto the Echo, who was off-site, just using it time as a wee kind of tactical timeout. But great round there from E-Wave, and it looks as though the momentum is firmly in their hands as they get us started. And there's a minute and 20 seconds already passed in this next round here, and it's of course armory defense, but there's not really much happening. No one's really found each other. First kind of bit of damage done here. The wall is now going to be open up. As Dipsy takes a little bit of damage from the C4, and then the wall will be attempted to open up towards that maintenance side. But there's an extension out towards Barrel, and it's Robson that is on that. That'll be holding this with a 1.5 onto the Dragon door.
Again, this is one of those rounds where not so much is happening. Like E-Wave is really like awaiting the first bit of round, just getting the like the right amount of control, positioning themselves correctly. It's really vital waiting here for the impact trick, but as they open up the wall a little bit, yes, I was about to say they will be able to avoid the impact trick, but that, in the end, they did manage to do it. Zeki there with a kill on Tenna. That's even the termite of the board. That's a huge kill for him. No more hard breach available, and this will make things so much more difficult for the attacking team. We have seen it before, however. Before it was Eagle Empire on the attacking side with no hard breach options really left, and still needed to make it their entry towards the bomb site, but also they did have a Monty in play, which did help them quite a lot. And it's for EWave, it's the same case. They also have this Monty in play, so they might still have a chance right here.
Yep, the cross angles have been set up though on the dragon doorway, so they're aware of that Monty that's pushing in. Dex though is aware of someone upstairs that could go for the rotate. Solars will find one onto Schlewe, and that's the heavy hitter from the last round dealt with at least. And it looks as though Eagle Empire are shutting down this momentum, and hopefully for their sake they're able to get it. 2 versus 5, and Zeri finds a double kill on the round on the castle, and the Echo still holding that corner. Next dragon staircase going to be using that to deny the Monty and drop those shields just so that they can get an opportunity to kill the Monty. Zeri takes quite a bit of damage though as they both double up E-Wave on this dragon door though, and accidentally shoots Dipsy in the back of the head. Solars with the final shot as well, and Eagle Empire are able to snuff out that momentum finally after a few rounds, and now they are bringing us to 4 versus 4, and things get spicy.
Things are certainly getting spicy. It's a 4-4 score right now. It's just so close between these two teams. They're really, really well matched. And this, of course, I think might just be the most close groups that we have seen so far in terms of teams. I think in the beginning people were really talking about Group B. I believe that was going to be like a banger of a group, but so far this is Group C. It's also such an interesting one, and especially also these teams so well matched, and yeah, both of these teams really deserve their spots, it seems like, eventually in those playoffs. But not everyone can make it, and yeah, this match will quite change the chances for either of these two teams. It might have some pretty big impacts, but so far both of these teams are doing a great job. And yeah, and I'll be heading into round 9. This will be the, I'm saying it correctly, yeah, the 3rd defensive round for Eagle Empire, for which we'll be heading towards Drug Lab Jerk Storage, which is not the most popular bomb site, I would say.
Yeah.
Although we have seen it before from E-Wave as well. But I always believed that it was Initiation, Bunk Daycare, and Strone that will be the most popular bomb site, and this actually being the least. Surely it's playable, but I always believed that this was the least popular on this map.
Yeah, it's purely just because that bomb site that's inside the storage area just faces out onto a window, so there's no extension possible. It just faces straight outside, so you can get direct access to the bomb site. So
Yeah.
it's never, a bomb site's never as strong if you have that. So there's no way to really defend it. It relies on upstairs hold, which it looks like I think they're doing. I think they have at least one player up there, but they're just, as I say that, of course they dropped down, and it's looking like they're going to start us off here on this west side, sweeping through from that side at least. They're going to get the sledge up towards the cafe side, and that's likely where they're going to try and direct this attack to get the clear in and get the verticality established. Robson's the one that's inside of there, and like I said before, it's generally the way you defend the site. On the top floor, has the Mozzie in tow, so they can at least deny some of the... Look at the C4 though, that's going to come across and just about catches the sledge of Dex out, sends out a nade across the top there, but it's not actually expecting Robson to be on the left hand side. Another nade though sent out and pushes in and catches him in the mid reload animation. 5 versus 4 as Dex brings the aggression onto the round. That's exactly what we need to see from E-Wave, who are trying to get the momentum shift back in their favour. They are able to get the control inside a cafe that they need, and they can now begin opening up these angles inside of cafe.
Yeah, Solar's playing in a very interesting position here on yellow stairs. From here is a very nice line of sight into the cafeteria area. Meanwhile, Tene, however, with a kill there on Zeri, that's another defender losing his life, which in this case is the castle. So therefore, it's now 5 versus 3 situation with 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. E-Wave certainly much better with the timing so far, just bringing things to this situation within the first half of the round, which is much faster than the previous round that we have seen from them. So this might just mean a good thing for them, but in the end, things can still happen. There's a 5 versus 3, and as Enjoy actually gets in trouble by Sliwu, he gets taken out as well, and that's a 5 versus 2, where the chances get much more slimmer for Eagle Empire, and we'll see lots of pressure happening at the moment. As the flashbangs come out, we might see the first push happening anytime soon, especially if Rav's gonna kill on Solar. This is a 5 versus 1. Does Vitus get 1 kill? He does injure 1, but can he finish it? No, he cannot. Sliwu with the final kill, his 2nd kill for this round, and a flawless round for his team, putting the score on 5-4, with E-Wave now back in the lead.
Yep, and the momentum shifts again. It's almost like a clock just swinging back and forward. Who is going to get out on top after this matchup? Because now E-Wave, of course, they sit on the precipice of getting themselves on to match point, and that's where things get really, really intense for Eagle Empire. If that happens, they are going to be hoping that they can even the score up. Not quite the greatest play there of going down towards the lab and storage area. The issue came obviously that there was quite a lot of pressure directed towards that cafe area, and two members stacking up together, playing off the refrags. It ended up didn't even need the refrag. Dex just used the nades and flushed out the Mozzie and was able to get the kill onto him, and that was what really unlocked the round for the attacking side of E-Wave. After that, it just was like dominoes, just fell through it the whole time, and eventually they just got down in the site, got in, got the final couple of kills, didn't even need to bother about a plant, and that was it. Schlewu, 12-7 so far, having an absolutely wonderful time. Of course, boosted a little bit by the fact they got an ace on that one round, but on this attack, they've been wonderful to watch, and just hunting down these operators and getting quite a few kills. And if they continue this form, it's looking like E-Wave can get themselves into a good position to win this match.
Yeah, just E-Wave being one round away from the match point, of course. Eagle Empire also just being one round behind them, so things can really go either way from this point. The upcoming 2 to 3 rounds will decide the fate of this match. But for now, let's just see how this match of this round will go. Back again, it's still E-Wave on the attack, of course, on the offense, where Eagle Empire needs a defense. And yeah, let's just see where the attackers will be coming from. They will be mostly coming from the east, it seems. Just taking control from the other side of the map, which is quite usual. Just doing like a east to west clear. Just making sure that everything around the bomb site is clear, and then eventually proceeding into initiation, probably an office. From there, opening some walls and getting further control over the bomb site, from where they can eventually go for some picks and execute. Although we do see some relocating.
Do actually. They're tend to be kind of spreading stuff out a wee bit. The Ying's nice to see as well, actually. I do like to see a lot. I do like to see a lot about Ying play. It always brings out the aggression for players. Like Schlewu sticking on the Finka as well, and Finka was one of the most picked operators, of course, in the previous season in ESA. Was one of the most banned operators as well for obvious reasons. The LMG meta was well in its full swing, which has kind of died off now. So it's not often you see Finka as much, but it's still nice to see a little bit of Finka action. It's nice to see her still getting some love from people, and Schlewu has definitely made the most of that operator so far. Early push, of course, coming in towards Cafe side, same clear as before. It has to just go through that. That tends to be the way and the lay of the land for theme park. It's either clear from Cache or clear from Cafe, or pinch from Cache and Cafe at the same time, which seems to be the play just now. But look at the sneak again! It's this time it's on the attacking side of E-Wave. Ravas is able to get in and get himself a kill, or sorry, able to be refragged at the same time, and Solars is the one that falls. Not quite paying attention to the fact that something could sneak in towards Cache, and Ravs is able to be refragged instantly, and that's the decay be dealt with. Gets a free kill, but at the cost of their own life.
Yeah, surely not so much momentum on the side of the attack this time, but Schlewu just very aware of Fighters just going for the risky barricade. He wasn't surely expecting anyone from that position, which of course caused him to lose his life. Very unfortunate for him. It's a 4 versus 3 situation. Red pinks are coming out on the Jaeger. He does get damage, but he manages to stay alive. But it is Dex with the kill and enjoy your life. It's a 4 versus 2 in the advantage of E-Wave. Will they win this round? There's also Zeri getting in a bit of trouble. He's currently still safe in office, but can he hold it on much longer? Meanwhile, Robson getting flashed, I'm sorry, but in the end, does get the kill there on Dex, where Zeri was taken out by Schlewu. It's a 3 versus 1, but in the end, things will get tough for Robson as he does get taken out by Dipsy. And this is another round for E-Wave, bringing them to match point, a 6-4 score. And yeah, as somewhat expected and advised, Eagle Empire calls out the technical timeout, which does give them an extra 45 seconds to just rethought the strategies. Like, hey guys, we are like in a tight spot right now. It's match point against us. We really need to win the upcoming 2 rounds to still be able to make it towards overtime. Otherwise, we get 0 points, and that's of course something they do not want. They want to keep the lead in their group, and for that, to do that, they need to win this match, or at least bring it to overtime.
Yep, it'll certainly be a missed opportunity for them because they started this game pretty strong, and it'd be unfortunate for them to fall 7-4 to E-Wave. I think they'll be still thinking they're in this, they're still within this. The thing they need to stop though is Schlewu just constantly being a plague to them every single round, just killing them every single engagement. Doesn't matter which one, Schlebu comes out on top all the time. 14-7 now on this match. Dex as well coming up, a pretty steady performer throughout the entire matchup and eventually hitting those double digits. But Schlebu is definitely the pinnacle of the attack that they need to stop. And they need to also stop making the same mistakes as what Eagle Empire made on their their attacker. They need to start capitalizing on this, because there's a couple of mistakes being made in terms of the players not paying attention. We've seen the same thing happen on the other side. Of course, Eagle Empire got a bit of luck because there's a few players not paying attention on E-Wave's side, and now it's happening on the other side as well for E-Wave. The Eagle Empire are not actually paying attention, and yeah, I'm hoping that they can see this go all the way though. I'm hoping that they can put in a shift here at E and get themselves back up towards the match point area. See overtime.
Yeah, Eagle Empire now heading back to the one and only bomb site they managed to win. Am I saying that correctly? Yes, right? They played 2 times on the basement, on the ground floor, I mean, in Trophy Statuary. They're not going to play it for the 3rd time then. So yeah, of course, understandable choice. The only one they have been able to win so far. So for that reason, it's understandable for them to go here. And let's just see how it goes. They're currently like in a tough spot. They know what to do. The upcoming 2 rounds, they need to win in order to bring into match points. If E-Wave just managed to win 1 out of the upcoming 2 rounds, they will win this match. And that's, of course, something that Eagle Empire does not want. So they just need to make sure that doesn't happen in order to still be able to get some points.
Yep, a couple of drone zones, some smart positions here. The Mozzie is spotted out. Robson's position is known, but Robson won't know that they know. Zeri here bringing in, of course, the castle, just to make sure that there has to be some effort put in to get in towards this cafe area. And some nice pings coming in as well, finding the Mozzie drone. So it looks as though there is quite a bit of cohesion here for this attack aside of Schlewu, bringing the pressure, trying to find another kill, wanting to enjoy a life. And it's Dipsy there with the pinch, and is able to get this. And we get started off in the match point with a massive kill for the opening of E-Wave. They have brought in Amaru as well, which we've not spoken about the technique of Amaru as well, which can bring in that element of surprise into this game here, getting themselves into quick positions and be able to move around the map as quick as possible. But Eagle Empire will be hoping they can get one back. Solars is still on the top floor, still holding out inside the office. The Jackal's been brought along, finds the information it needs to at least locate one player on the top floor, and now things will start to get spicy as we enter the 2-minute mark here. But Ravs is able to find Robson inside of I think he was inside the site actually. I'm not sure where he found that. Solars is still on top floor, and this is going to be a massive play here if Solars is able to get a couple of kills onto anyone on the top floor and really even the odds here. 5 versus 3 at this moment in time, but there's one member on the other side of that wall. Look at Solars just waiting for the player to come up, trying to get the vault animation. Can't quite get it though, Schlewu. He's not able to get the right part on to get the vault. Eventually does get it, but Solars is lying in wait, and it's Schlewu on top! I spoke about it before. In the middle of the round, Schlewu just keeps winning these gunfights. It seemed almost unwinnable there, just waiting, lying in wait inside that vault area, and another swing comes out, this time from Zeri though, is able to get one back. It's a 4 versus 2 situation. 1 minute left on the clock. Schlewu swings across to the top of the dragon area and finds one no, and that's it! It's all over for E-Wave, who take the match 7-4 after that massive performance from Schlewu on the attack. Beautifully done, finds an ace in one of the rounds on this attack, and also just keeps going, snowballs through the entire of this second half and just keeps it going. The pressure was there every single time, won every single gunfight. Finka was just indestructible. 16-7 from Schlewu, wins that one out for E-Wave, and they take all 3 points versus Eagle Empire.
Yeah, 3 points going to E-Wave right there. Something they could certainly use at this moment, because like we already pointed out, currently E-Wave has 6 points. So we'll now be joining Team Misclick and Eagle Empire on the 9-point mark, where I'm not quite sure. E-Wave will also be in a pretty good position in terms of round differences, which is also a good thing to be looking at. But still, E-Wave could really use these points to put them on the third, like in the top 3 for the group, just followed by Entropy, who's on 7 points. So that's of course a very nice match for them. Tomorrow we'll still see Stark and Royal playing, and Misclick and Quintex. So still things will happen within this group, but at least E-Wave has done the job, has gained a bit of movement within the group, which is of course what they wanted and needed. So a beautiful match, 7-4 score, a beautiful attempt from Eagle Empire as well. They did very well, especially in the first 6 rounds, I must say. But in the end, it was E-Wave just managing to fight back, just managing to turn things around, especially after the role swap happened. And luckily for them, they managed to win with a 7-4 score.
Yep, wonderful match. I was expecting Eagle Empire to come back into it there, but Schlewe was just way too much to deal with every single time. That was the deciding point. The 1v1 with Solars on the top floor there. That was pretty much the nail in the coffin, really. Solars wins that, and they've got a chance, and they've shut down Schlewe, but no, he just went on and got himself I think it's a 3k in the end of that round, or maybe just a double kill. But again, yeah, just what a performance in from Schlewe and what a performance from E-Wave, who, like you say, they are moving up in the group now. That moves them up onto 9 points. That evens the odds with them and Misclick and Eagle Empire. But the thing that's made things interesting is, yeah, the results have done that, but like you say, this was Eagle Empire's first big test, and they failed it. So
Yeah.
where do they go from here?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you look at the Eagle Empire, they still have 3 more matches to be played, which is Stark, Misclick, and Entropy. I mean, Team Misclick would technically be a very difficult match as like they currently like this team, the second team within the group might even become the first team in the group as they play tomorrow against Team Cointex. We'll see how that will go. But at the same time, then there's still Stark and Entropy. Entropy and Stark, both of them have lost some matches and have won some matches. So there's definitely some options there for Eagle Empire in terms of stats. They are not performing as well as E-Wave, so there is chances there. But still, things will start to get tricky, and they really need to put their best performance to still stay in the upper level of their group.
Yep, they certainly do. But like we said, there's more action tomorrow to follow. It'll be myself that'll be hosting that. But for tonight, that is all of our games done. That's us all finished for this evening. So we'll wrap things up and we'll move on to the next day.
Yeah, so like Chamberlain is saying, tomorrow 2 more matches, which is Stark versus Royal and Misclick versus Quintex, like Chamberlain says, that will be broadcasted by Chamberlain. So we hope to see you all tomorrow, and that's it for tonight. So I wish you all a good evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow. So good evening, bye-bye.
Bye.